What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda. Now, look, I don't big up the channel much, but this is it. This is the dream. This is it. So, look at it. Look at the two of them. Youthful exuberance in abundance. You love to see it. Jack and James, welcome, lads. Great to have you both on again.
It's a pleasure to finally do a show with you, my mate. I'm very looking forward to it, and it's good to see you back, lads. Good to see you back.
Yeah, it's good to see James. For anyone that doesn't know, obviously me and James were at Redmond together as well. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, we used to do the youth shows together. It's good to see you back, James. Good to see you back.
Jack, I've got a funny story. You might remember it. Do you remember when I thought you took my iPhone charger?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I was getting messages off his dad
charger.
going absolutely mental at me for stealing an iPhone charger that I'd never even stolen and was still in the office.
No, it wasn't even that I was going mental. I was just like, are you sure like you never accidentally took it or anything like that? Because everyone else said nah, and I was like, oh, I haven't got a charger now, do you know what I mean? So I was just trying to find out. But nah, lad, don't worry, I believe you now.
Jack told me he took it and he just threw it in the bin on the way out.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Didn't even need it, he said. He didn't even have an iPhone at the time. He just wanted to wind you up.
Probably, lad. Listen, I probably deserved it. Some of the shit that I say.
I'm starting to realise, gents, that more and more as the new contributors come on board, there's too much hair on this channel. Do you know what I mean? Look at this. 2 Barnetts on the both of you there that I could only dream about.
Listen, this is not a Barnett you want to dream about. When you get the short back and sides a little bit off the top, you can dream about that one, Craig, and admire that one. This one, I'd rather be like you right now, just a nice everywhere, all off the sides, you know what I mean, regrow.
You know what that head needs? That head needs some Manscaped. Brand new.
Absolutely.
2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. Jack, it's not just about down south anymore, mate. You know, get up in the latest news. Manscaped now have a body wash with aloe vera and sea salt as well. You can get yourself a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. You can also get yourself the Performance Package 4.0, Jack, as you very well know, featuring the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, all the goodies. And you can get 20% off and free shipping with our discount code, which is, James? Put him on the spot.
Wait there, I can't remember.
Does he know? Does he know? Put him on the spot. Come on, Jack knows.
And WFM 20. Get at it.
WFM 20. There you go. We'll have that tattooed on you at some point, James.
Amazing.
I've already got it.
I'm trying to think of a place that would be best for it. Probably.
I've got it on my balls, lad. On my balls. So every time I manscape, I see the code.
There you go.
Reminds me.
And because it's so smooth, there's no possible effect that it snatches the tattoo. Do you know what I mean? A bit of skin and ruins the tattoo. You just don't want that.
Downstairs, you know what I mean? Mine's looking like Anfield. That's all I'm saying. Stripe shaped into it and everything. Perfect. Amazing. Grass on the pitch and it's ready to play.
Like Leicester City's pitch, where if you want to do them circles, absolutely go for it.
Yeah, your audio seems a little bit low. James, a little bit low.
Are we better? Are we better? Was it still low? Still
Sounds
low.
Bit better to me. I'm getting this off Connor, by the way. It's always Connor's fault. He always has a little moan.
Fuck's sake, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean,
let me know if that sounds. If not, then
sounds all good to me. Look, gents, loads to go through. There's Jude Bellingham propaganda galore. We can talk about Adeyemi as well. Jack, actually, I'll talk about Adeyemi first, and I'll come to you, mate. It seems like Adeyemi is summoning his inner Erling Haaland and going on a little jaunt all around Europe, hearing what people have to say, hearing who wants him.
He's an absolute fucking baller, mate. You know, he's doing really well for Salzburg again this season. Really impressing in the Champions League as well. I've been lucky enough to watch him a couple of times this season, and he's really, really impressed me. A player I'd love to see at Liverpool. But yeah, also with the talent that comes with Adeyemi, it's going to come at a cost, because there's going to be lots of Europe. With lots of clubs in Europe, with their eye on this kid, because he's got bags of talent. He's young, and he's come through a side where they just make talent, don't they? And he looks like the latest bit of talent that they've come up with.
Their own bit of the talent down the bottom end of the screen there. James, what are we thinking? What are we saying about Adeyemi? What do we think about this little... I don't know if you've seen it, but he was over in Madrid talking to Atleti. Now he's doing the rounds much like Haaland did, hearing what people have to say.
He should really broaden his options in terms of what he wants, because, you know, I brought up a comparison for him, let's say, a few weeks ago. He's got the roadmap there from Erling Haaland and what he's went on and achieved, and I think Dortmund would be the best move. Just simply for the fact that they've obviously got the best track record for growing players. And when you look at Atletico Madrid, with, you know, the likes of João Felix and whatnot. Now, Adeyemi, he's a goal scorer. I believe in that team. You know, with Suarez being on the other side of that hill, even though he's still quality, you want to go ahead and you want to freshen up. And I think Adeyemi could do well, but in terms of just being given the best chance, the fact Haaland's going to leave Dortmund soon anyway, and Marlon's a different type of striker, so Adeyemi can bring something different to the table, let's say, for Dortmund, then I think that'll probably be the smartest move. But he is a good striker, he's a top goal scorer, and I think he is going to end up being a great player.
On that, Jack, if he does go to Dortmund, it probably will help ease the transition for Erling Haaland to leave and go wherever he goes, mate. It's a lovely little niche that Dortmund have carved out for themselves there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that you know, every football fan in the world will tell you how admirable the Dortmund setup is. It's truly top quality, and they always find players. Look at the summer they got rid of Sancho, got big money in for him, and they replaced him with Donyell Malen. You know, just a fantastic replacement. And look how Sancho's doing at United. And then obviously you've got Erling Haaland, who I think a lot of people are expecting to move on in the summer. Obviously he has that low release clause that will have a lot of clubs in Europe wanting to, you know, eye him up and bring him in this summer. And I can't see, you know, Haaland with Mino Raiola extending a deal. He'll see it as a good opportunity to get him out early, get a bigger fee for Raiola, I'm sure. And then, of course, you've got their replacement, and Dortmund will be all over Adeyemi from the same club that they bought Haaland in from. Another player who looks really talented and looks like he could be an exceptional player in the future. And it would just make absolute sense, wouldn't it, for him to go Dortmund as Haaland's replacement.
And the big news, I suppose, gentlemen, this evening is that Eddie Howe looks primed to take over the reins at Newcastle. And my first thought here, James, is how much are we going to get off Eddie Howe for Divock Origi, considering he spent 40 mil on Dominic Solanke and Jordan Ibe, bringing up the Bournemouth?
He better consider paying 80 million with the money that they've got and with the achievements that Divock Origi possesses. Now, listen, Eddie Howe, I don't know the situation at Bournemouth, whether it was actually him who had like full control. Do you know, like the way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he weren't saying, I want Sancho, I want Van der Beek, because he doesn't use them. So it makes you think, like, the board made them decisions. So is it him? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, even probably certain players for Klopp. Maybe Klopp hasn't had to say on all of his players. Maybe it was the same for Eddie Howe, and it was more a board director decision. Whereas if Eddie Howe is given the freedom to get the players he wants, he's shown before he can have a philosophy. Whether he can go the next step is something that we never got to see, because Bournemouth were just in one of them situations, but it's just dead easy to blame the manager. Does that make sense? So I'm willing, if I'm a Newcastle fan, which I'm not, so I'm just saying from an outside looking in, that it's worth giving a chance. Someone who's been in the Premier League and now will be given a better resources, should I say, then just see how it goes. Still a young manager as well, so maybe he's improved in his time away. Maybe he's gone out of England like what Brendan Rodgers did, Graham Potter. I've no clue if he has done that, but if he has, great, because that's only going to improve his managerial game and make him a better coach right now.
Here's where I am on this, Jack, right? So Unai Emery was the first target that they went for. Had a chat with him, didn't work out. He's staying at Villarreal. But at least with Unai Emery, you can see somebody who has brought clubs to a certain level, won a lot of Europa Leagues, can attract players. I just don't see how Eddie Howe is going to attract the type of players that Newcastle are going to want, Jack, to really push on and eventually get up. I feel like he's almost a sacrificial manager for a year or two, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I think, you know, the Unai Emery thing was interesting, because I think he would have been the perfect appointment for Newcastle. I really do. The perfect man to lead their charge into glory, really. Unfortunately, they missed out on him. Paulo Fonseca seemed like a top target too, but for some reason the last couple of weeks that's gone quiet. I don't know what's happened there. Eddie Howe's an interesting one. Really interesting appointment from Newcastle United. Forget for a second what happened at the end of his reign at Bournemouth. What he did with Bournemouth was absolutely exceptional. He got them from League Two towards the bottom of League Two, right the way up to the Premier League. They stayed there for 5 years, I think it was, before they were relegated. Only relegated during, a season where they suffered a lot of injuries. They still took it right down to the wire, really. It ended in a horrible way, but look at Bournemouth last season. They didn't bounce straight back up. There's a big job that had to be done for Scott Parker to make them decide that they're proving that they can be again in the Championship this season. Eddie Howe's a top coach, a top young coach. He can get the best out of that current crop that are there at Newcastle right now, as well as lead them into into the glory days that they're hoping for. And for me, with Newcastle, it's going to take its time. They can't just throw their money left, right, and centre like so some other clubs do when they get into cash. They're going to do it the right way, and they're showing that. And I think James is right in a way. I think they'll appoint Eddie Howe and they'll appoint a lot of good staff up in a technical director, do like a sort of Spurs sort of thing with what they're trying to do in bringing in Paratici. I think that's where Newcastle are going to invest a lot of their money, and you wonder how much say over transfers Eddie Howe will actually have. But for me, it's about bringing in a coach, a player that can get the best out of his players, and a young man that can do that. Certainly Eddie Howe's the right man for the job in that respect.
I just want to call out the comments one dead quick, like saying that they want to sign use tissue. Shout out to Jeff, who's just said that. You're going to be seeing a lot of me doing this because my stuffy nose is so horrible I can't breathe. So if you're here breathing into the microphone, it's because I can't breathe through me nose. So I really do apologise for headphone users because it could be a bit of a mad one, but yeah. Sorry.
You still didn't answer Jeff, though. Is he getting assigned to use tissue or not? So the man's waiting.
Yeah. No, of course he is. It's there, right by me side, because the bin's over there, and I know if I shoot, it's probably going to miss, so I'm just going to do it after the show. But luckily for you, it's not in the bin yet, so I'll make sure I save one for you.
Love it. Look, gents, let's have a little talk about last night, shall we? Because...
Oh, please! Let's just have verbal...
The shit houses...
the mates, they're just proper shit houses, knobheads. Oh, it felt so good. Inject it into my veins because every second of that game was perfect. Like, not as comical as the United game, but the way they got the disallowed goal, it was Suarez who got the disallowed goal, the red card, which just, even though like some people can say it's a yellow, it's like it's just funny because the player just basically asked for it by not going to the referee. We got to celebrate 4 times, which in a stadium is always good. Yes, 2 of them was called off, but it's them moments and them, like, do you know when was it Taki who scored an offside goal, or am I just thinking that?
Taki did score one. Jota scored an offside one. Taki scored one as well.
So when Taki's went in, I was like, oh, and the reaction on my vlog was amazing. And even though I got called off, it was just still sick to celebrate that goal with everyone because that's what I enjoy most about going the game. That being said, just perfect. The fact Mane, boys, we need to talk about Mane. Like, not even just me trying to be,
you definitely need to talk about Mane.
I need to talk about Craig, I need to talk about one sec. I'm not going to just talk about Mane by myself. Wait there.
Get Mini Mo.
And I should be back.
Get Mini Mo, Jack. He's getting Mini Mo. It's getting serious here.
Oh, I don't even know where he is.
I told you to keep him safe. This is serious stuff here. That little man better be safe. He's got Mini Mane as well.
Yeah, Mini Mane and Mini Mo, and I got them both in the summer. I'm trying to tell people, like, we're making moves. Do you get what I'm saying? Since we bought these mini players, and in all seriousness, come on now, like, even Mane's goals, they've been better this season. He's been doing it more frequently.
Hey, James, how do you get booked for getting fouled, mate? That's what I still can't get over. Mane getting booked for getting the ankles kicked off him.
Crazy, and that's the way it was looking like it was going to be all night. Mane, by far, head and shoulders, looked like the most threatening player all night. The player that we signed, the player that he ended up being 17, 18, 19, it looked the exact same, and it weren't just bad defender from Atletico Madrid. They'd have 3 men on him, 3 men on Mane at one point, and Mane just finds a way out. He was immense. That game could have been even more. if he was left on the pitch. But I understand why Klopp took him off. Mane was great. I thought, Salah had a great game but never got a goal. Or that's how I saw it. Suarez, like even seeing him, the fans booed him. What did you think of that? Because I was actually not expecting it, but like I joined in. Everyone done it, so I was like, fuck it, boo, you know what I mean? Every time he touched the ball, because why not?
I think it's one of those. It goes back to the Barca game for me, his antics in the new camp. I think that's what really wrangled Liverpool fans, and he revels in this type of stuff, you know what I mean? For you, Jack, did you think it was disrespectful, or did you think it was proper order for the cop in Anfield to be giving him a bit of stick?
It was interesting. I don't know if you can hear me. My face is frozen on my screen, so just give me the thumbs up if you can.
Oh
hear
yeah,
me,
no, we can hear you. Yeah, definitely hear you.
But yeah, for me, I was planning to tweet about it actually before I came on air. I think Suarez celebrating at the new camp when scoring against us for Barcelona is a part of the game. I think us booing Luis Suarez is a part of the game. I think Luis Suarez is a genius footballer who puts his all into playing for any team he's playing for at that point in time. That's who he is as a footballer. That's who we fell in love with when he was alive. I think, he won't take it to heart, the fact we...
Holla at your boy. Holla at your boy.
us to be like that. They either have stinkers or they shine in atmospheres like that. And last night was a bad night for Luis Suarez.
Yeah, I mean, I've not got much sympathy for the lad, to be honest. Loved him when he was at Liverpool. He's great, James, when he's your shit house. That's
it. He's like he's well better than this player, but like Diego Costa, like if he plays for you, you're probably gonna love him. If he plays against you, he's a problem. He's still a good player, though. You can notice that as well. Like, I still stand by the fact that, not that I think we should now, but if we signed him like a year ago, he still would have been a great striker or a great option to have in the squad. I can understand why we never got him. But yeah, tonight was an off night for all of the Atletico Madrid team. They were just trying to foul us all game, but we also played amazing, and Klopp said it in his interview, it was a nearly, not actually, but a nearly perfect performance. And, mate, we can start our kids if we want to.
I've got something to say, lads. We're winning the Champions League. I'm saying it now. We're winning it. I don't know who beats us.
Number 7 is coming, 100%.
Honestly, I look around.
Factor, over 2 legs, it's huge. It's huge.
I can't see anybody that's going to beat us, honestly. If I'm looking at now and naming the most likely winners, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, PSG, in that order, for me. I think it's going to take one hell of a performance and one hell of a team to put us out. And do you know what, actually, on that, James, you were saying put the kids out. Kloppo's post-match interview last night suggested that the money is very, very much a factor, the $2.5 million that you get for these group stage wins.
Still, what matters more, trusting in players that are a part of your squad. Therefore, you should believe that they could go ahead and win games, risking less injury, because let's say in them 2 games, and we remember last season when Jota played in a game that he didn't really need to play in, and then he got that long-term injury.
The and he played for so long. I think it was.
That was it. He played for so long, and we were already through. We lose Jota, who at that point was one of probably our most informed attacker at that point, and he goes out for 3 months. Do you want that happening again? Because that will impact you. Do you know this title race, the Premier League, which you get a lot more than 2 million for, which you're in for? You want to risk losing a Mane, a Salah, who's going to be going to AFCON as well. Like, all these factors, you're going to risk that for 2 million. So I think it'd be smart to use your squad depth, make everyone happy, create a few memories for the players and the fans, giving these young lads their debuts, trusting in them because it's your squad, it's the squad that FSG have handed to Jurgen Klopp. Like, why not change? Don't risk getting another injury like Jota again, because we just know that's going to impact us just negatively. So it'd only make sense for me to change the starting 11 when we're guaranteed top.
It's a bit of a nice change though, Jack, isn't it? I don't know if you can still hear us, mate, but it's a really nice change to be able to top a group after 4 games, go through, have great form in the Champions League, because, our away form in particular in recent years in the group stages have left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, hopefully you two can still hear me as well. I'm struggling with my McDonald's Wi-Fi again, which is weird, being as it was perfect last night.
I know the feeling, lad. I know the feeling.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think it's a good place to be in. I mentioned last night, I think now's the opportunity for us to rest players in the Champions League and go for it in the Carabao Cup. We're through to the quarter-final of that competition. It's a competition that we know. Jurgen Klopp is notorious for resting our first team players for, but why not play a stronger side against Leicester and then rest players at the San Siro, rest players against Porto? I think that's the way forward. At the end of the day, there's not much prize money for winning the Carabao Cup. I know that. But the trophy in itself is a prize. It's one of the rare trophies that Klopp hasn't won since coming to England. And I think it's one we've got to try and win this season. I think there won't be a better opportunity for us to do it in the Jurgen Klopp.
I agree, Jack. James. I'm somebody that wants the lads to finish up their time at Liverpool with as many trophies as they can. And look, people turn their noses up at League Cups, but at the end of the day, I want to talk about Jurgen Klopp's time at Liverpool. And I want to say he won a shit ton of trophies, mate.
The thing is about trophies, and I say this to people all the time, it's why people should bang on about the fact that our squad depth notoriously hasn't been great. It's why we never won that first Champions League final against Real Madrid. It's why we probably haven't won another Premier League and we couldn't get that 2 extra points in the Premier League season. These type of factors, they are important, and they're important for the reasons being that, what defines the biggest club in the country, or what defines the greatest managers? How many trophies they've won. When you go back to Sir Alex, you talk about how many Premier Leagues he's got, Champions Leagues, but you also talk about his overall trophy cabinet, which I don't know the number, but it's going to be very, very high. Jurgen Klopp should be higher, and even though I will agree with the notion that a Premier League outweighs a League Cup, they both equal 1 trophy. Therefore, you should still want to go ahead and win them trophies. The Super Cup, the Club World Cup, they're still trophies. Do you know what I mean? I hear people trying to discount them. No, they're still major trophies that are going to be important to Jurgen Klopp. It's just there's not as much prestige. Whereas League Cup, you've beat multiple teams to go ahead and win that trophy. Like, you might as well look at it in the same category as the FA Cup. It's just the FA Cup has more history, but it's the same competition without the non-league teams. So I just think go ahead and win any trophy you can for Klopp's legacy and for the fans. Because think about the away days that you get going to Wembley. All these things and more, you should go ahead and try and win every.
Jack said to me last night. Sorry, Jack, go ahead.
I think as well, you've got the fact that you've got Mane and Salah coming back from the African Cup of Nations around that time. You're going towards the business end of the season where you want to win the Champions League and race for the title in the Premier League as well. And I think it's the perfect opportunity to go on, win that competition, give yourself that massive morale boost after losing, 2 of your best players for a month or so. And it's the perfect opportunity then to give yourselves that morale boost, go into the final stages of the season in the Champions League and the Premier League, and try and win both of them as well. And if you get the treble then that really is special. And, Jurgen Klopp is then maybe talked about as one of the best managers of all time, not just at Liverpool Football Club. I'm talking wider.
Yeah, there's not many times as well, Jack, where you get a day out of Wembley. And a day out of Wembley isn't to be sniffed at because, I've never been to Wembley, as an example. Like, Liverpool have been to Wembley plenty of times while I've been supporting the club, but I've never had a chance to go. And again, as you said, early trophy in the bank, boost for morale. Again, we probably have more of a chance to play the youngsters. But what I don't like, Jack, about this season's League Cup is that it's reverted back to 2-legged semi-finals. I think they could have done with keeping it just as 1 leg to just try and keep the fixtures down a bit.
Yeah, that is slightly annoying, but I've been to a lot of League Cup games in my time, and I quite like that double-legged semi-final. It can be nice. It's annoying that it's an extra game, but with the League Cup, people chop and change anyway. That it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Hopefully, if we get there, we get a draw that nices us a tiny bit. But yeah, for me, it's a competition Klopp's not won yet. It's a competition that obviously we won previously before Klopp came in. That was our last trophy. And it's a competition that Why not? Pep Guardiola bangs on about how important it is to win that during, Manchester City season and how much it helps their morale. So why not try it ourselves? I think it's definitely worth a go. Like James says, we love the Wembley trips. The last few that us Liverpool fans have been to haven't been too great. I remember being at Villa in the semi-final, at Wembley for the Villa game in the semi-final of the FA Cup not too long ago. That was absolutely vile. So let's have fond memories of Anfield South again, and let's get back to Wembley Way.
And then even
James,
when you think about, like,
you're
the
a
Everton games and stuff, sorry Craig, but just the Everton game at Wembley, like, amazing day to then even go on to the final against Chelsea that year, weren't it? So it is just a day out for the fans, and football is about memories. You want to talk about to your kids about, oh, we did this, we did that. Liverpool, they don't really do any mad trips, like, Champions League finals, of course, they're crazy trips, but even to Wembley, because they're sometimes the best ones.
I know you're a man, James, that likes to help people out as and when he can. And there's a poor fella here, Jay, doesn't know, can't remember what the score was in the United match, mate. I thought maybe you could help him out there.
No, of course, mate. So basically, if you go down the Old Trafford Avenue, you turn left, you go down the tunnel, which is in the corner of the pitch. You walk out and you see what is going down onto the field. I will have to tell you the score that was 5-0.
I believe it was.
5,
correct.
Let's just say 5 and high five. Bam.
You love to see it. Look, this game at the weekend, West Ham, they're after having a difficult jaunt across Europe tonight. 2-2 draw in that game. For you gents, are you worried about it going into the game at the weekend? And
no, we've got Fabinho and Thiago.
Fabinho
and Thiago, about who cares? Like, because that was our problem against Brighton. Well, yeah, if Fabinho and Matip starts, I thoroughly believe we're going to win this game with all my heart, because the balance will be there. Matip has been our best centre-back this season, and I don't want to hear anything else. He's been amazing in every single game. I think he's been unbeaten in something like 50 games. Someone correct me in the chat, but he's been unbeaten for a very, very long time when he starts, and there's no coincidence to that. Henderson will be playing more further forwards, which I think always benefits the team. Allows him to cover in on the right-hand side more, because when he's CDM, he's literally got to stay in the middle and try and hold that together. The other two midfielders, that usually when we've got injuries, they aren't as disciplined, they don't have as much know-how. Thiago and Fabinho have the know-how, and I think they'll both start with Henderson, so that's why I think we'll win.
Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's all I'm saying. Just the name. That's it.
Not allowed. Like, seriously, stop it, because he's a joke.
And that first pass for the first goal.
Oh, stop it, Jack.
The defenders may as well have been like me at home with their cock in their hands. They just stood and watched and just admired the beauty of that pass. And what Gareth Southgate doesn't see in Trent Alexander-Arnold, what many other football fans don't see in Trent Alexander-Arnold, I do not know. The man is phenomenal. Just when you think, he's having a bit of a shaky spell, he'll come up and he'll do something that is fucking out of this world. He has reinvented that position, and I won't hear anything else. He is the best right back in world football. He really, really is. There is no one to compare him to, because, this new breed of fullback we're seeing now, that is down to Trent Alexander-Arnold. It wouldn't be there if it weren't for him. He's reinvented the entire position. He really has.
Nah, I agree.
What are we saying at left back,
he shouldn't even be English. He's like, the way that he plays, his technical ability is amazing. He needs to be from, like, Spain or something with the way he passes. It's insane.
He's brilliant. He reminds me an awful lot of the way Cancelo does things at Manchester City with regards to, he's not really a right back, if you get me. He's not really a full back, I should say. He drifts in field an awful lot, plays from deep. And I wonder what way Klopp will go at left back, though, gents, this week, because Costa did himself no harm in that game.
And get on this for a little fun stat. You might have seen it. Kostas Tsimikas, 6 games, 6 clean sheets, 6 wins this season.
It's really funny looking at Jack up at the top corner.
I know, it's hilarious, isn't it?
Like he's having an argument with himself.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on.
There we go.
I honestly have no idea what's going on. I can hear you all absolutely fine, but my picture's absolutely fucked.
Yeah, it's funny to be fair.
A left back situation though, like yesterday, I have to put my hands up, James. I didn't give you were at the game, weren't you? Yesterday,
Yep.
I didn't give Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain enough credit in the post-match show that I probably should have, because it was a very disciplined performance from him yesterday, and he covered Costas a lot because, my God, Costas Tsimikas and Trent were high up the pitch for that game yesterday. And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain got a lot of plaudits. What did you make seeing him live in that game?
I saw that as well, and I was thinking about maybe 20 minutes into the game, maybe that's the plan. Maybe the plan is to utilise because some people have even said Tsimikas is better crossing than Robbo, so he's in the winger position to whip in the ball to Diogo Jota, who's a great header of the ball. That was the way Liverpool wanted to beat Atletico Madrid. Break them down the sides because they're going to be narrow, and utilise Diogo Jota, utilise the best passer of the ball in Tsimikas, and for the fact he needs minutes. So all this and more, I think, and we know that Oxlade in the past has been able to cover at left back or right back, as a wing back type of player. I think that's why Klopp, he knows his players. That's the difference between a Gareth Southgate and Gareth Southgate doesn't know how to utilise players, hence why you don't see Trent in the team. He doesn't know how he what you'd even do with that player, even though it should be common sense. Jurgen knows what to do. Jurgen knows Oxlade can do a job in that position, and he's done a great job in that position, I agree.
Moving ahead to the game against West Ham, there aren't many options for the gaffer in midfield. Surely it has to be Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago. Anybody, any different suggestions to that one?
No, none at all from me. I think that has to be the midfield for the weekend. I think, there's maybe maybe Ox has a stake to claim for his performance on Wednesday, but obviously he picked up a knock at the end. I know Klopp confirmed he's not injured, but I still think it's probably best to rest him for this one and go with what, in my opinion, is our strongest midfield, and that is obviously Hendo, Fabinho, and Thiago.
Yeah, I can't see how he changes it up. To me, Oxlade-Chamberlain looked a bit leggy. I mean, he's coming back from having not played a lot, building up his fitness. I thought he was blown a little bit in the last league game, but I can't stress how important this game is for me, gents. I really can't. I mean, if we don't get 3 points at the London City Stadium, dare I say it, already in the season, I'm doubting about whether we can realistically challenge up there with Chelsea, because it's a long season ahead.
Well, that'd be 5 draws, 3 of them coming from Brentford, Brighton, and West Ham. In fact, 3 teams that you can forgive Chelsea. You can forgive that even with 10 men, because they put the 10 men they had on the pitch behind the ball. That's hard to break down, even if it is one man down. Man City, you can forgive a game of 2 halves, a few moments of quality and lapse of concentration, but Brentford, Brighton, and West Ham, that's stuff where, you look at what lost us the league when we lost it to City. You're talking about like Leicester draws, Everton draws, where you should have got the win. You can't have them same margins when there's not only one other team you're competing with, there's 2. Like, I agree. I wouldn't write us out the title race if we lost to West Ham completely, because anything can change. Like, fucking hell, Spurs were top of the league in December last season, then look where they finished. But I think it's all the more bleak, especially with the fact Chelsea have Burnley, which they're definitely going to win.
I actually seen something, Jack, moving on to transfers a little bit. I seen something that worried the shit out of me, and that was that Antonio Conte is apparently, and I know he looks like he's going to sign a new deal at Inter, but he's apparently eyeing up Nicola Barella, which, how the fuck could Spurs get him? How?
They've got no chance. I don't even think Conte will be there a year. I think him and Levy are going to be like a toxic relationship the longer and longer they do stay together. Sorry, and for me, it's a match made in hell. Them two, it really is. Levy didn't like Nuno Espirito Santo for being outspoken about how he is. He didn't like Mourinho for being outspoken. So what's he going to think about Antonio Conte? I can't see it lasting longer. I can't see him bringing in Barella. I can't see them having the funds to do that. But yeah, fair play to Tottenham fans while it lasts. They've got a very, very good coaching, and if it does last a while, Tottenham could be back if they ever were there. If you get what I mean. Yeah. For me though, yeah, I just can't see it lasting.
Look, I've gone 34 minutes, 45 seconds without talking about Jude Bellingham, which is far too long, let's be honest.
Go on, Craig.
Story doing the rounds today, James, that maybe Dortmund are looking to bring in Jude Bellingham to try and get the family a little bit more settled, which is a stroke of genius. I won't lie. It's a stroke of genius.
100%, you know what I mean? Get the vibes going. How old is Job?
I haven't got a Scooby-Doo, mate. Haven't got a clue.
Well, I only ask because if he was 16, obviously that means he can break into the team soon, if he's good enough. And maybe that does influence Jude Bellingham a little bit, because if he stays at Dortmund, we're still going to be wanting him in 2 years, 1 year, 2 years. That's not going to go. He's only going to improve, and he's still only going to be about fucking 21. You know what I'm saying? Or 20. He's still going to be a baby. I think he'll probably end up staying. I'm sorry, Craig. I know I'm a dickhead. I don't want him to stay, but I just think he probably will end up staying just with...
James, Manscaped don't make tissues, mate.
I know.
They're killing me here.
I've got loads that I can send over to you.
I mean, I've even gotten Blandy on the train at this point. I've even got Steve on board, mate.
I'm on the train, but that's the train of wanting it to happen. Believing it will? Not yet. Not ever. Not yet.
Do you know what the really tough part is, Jack? Because I will admit that I think for his career, it's probably the right move to stay at Dortmund for another year, and I hate saying it.
Shut up, Craig, shut your mouth. Don't say that out loud.
What are we saying, Jack? Do we agree?
Yeah, big fan. The thought of hearing "Hey Jude" on the cop just gives me goosebumps. Real excitement over Jude Bellingham. I think he's the one. He's the one I'm really excited about. There's been talk of bringing in that generational talent. He's the man I want. I agree with James, though. I don't think it'll be this summer. I think we'll have to wait till next if we're going to get him. I think he'll do another season there. It's very clever what they're doing with Jude Bellingham, who, by the way, a lot of Birmingham City fans have said even when Jude was in their first team that Job is better than his brother. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see, because if anyone's going to get the best out of Jude Bellingham, you'd think it would be Dortmund. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Did you just say?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah, that's what they're saying. He's a winger. Yeah, he's a winger.
Wow.
Oh, hang on, he's a winger. We need one of them.
Yeah, he's a winger. He's a winger.
Hey, maybe there's another Bellingham chain we can jump on.
Do you know what I think we should do? I think we should boil piss and just bring in Job in January and just let him sit with us for the rest of the season, and then just toy with Jude Bellingham and just, post random pictures of Job every now and again, waving.
And still tag Jude.
Yeah. Tag Jude, do exactly what he did to us the other week. Just tickle his bollocks a bit. Tickle his bollocks and make him want to come to us.
It's going to be, I tell you what, if it does happen that Bellingham stays on for another year with Dortmund, I wonder what our business might be next summer, genuinely, because we're still going to need a midfielder.
Yeah, but get both.
Yeah.
Just get both for fun. Why not? Innit? I think that's the solution. Yeah, Craig, I'm back in your good books now. Get both.
Get both. I love it.
Get the whole family.
On the transfers though, January coming up, we've been linked with a load of players again. Am I wrong in thinking that we're not going to sign anybody, or am I just programmed to expect disappointment? Because
we're not. Go on.
Because there's a lot of stories. There's a lot of talk about Adeyemi could possibly be bought. There's a lot of stories about other players around Europe. I can't see Jurgen Klopp going out and doing business in January. I just can't.
I'm the same. And it's not Klopp. Maybe it is. Do you know what? Maybe it is. Maybe I just have this sort of neglective thought that maybe Klopp just doesn't want anyone. And he has came out and said he likes a narrow squad. But sometimes I take that with a pinch of salt when, I'm sure if you offered him someone, surely there's one player out there that any manager would want. And I think it's more so the fact he doesn't want to call out the owners or whatever it may be. That being said,
I'll call them out for him.
Yeah, they say I'll call them out for them, and I don't expect Klopp to go and just call them out and say I need more money, because just causes, and he's still doing well. Do you know what I mean? With what he's got, That being said, I just don't see it happening in January. And maybe a sort of the way Minamino was, that type of a signing, but no one too significant. No one to go into the first team, I don't think.
I think we will.
Oh, go on.
Spicy.
I think we'll sign a forward in January. I think we have to. I really think we have to. We're with the AFCON. I think we have to sign either a striker or a winger. I think we've seen already this season the sheer importance that Mohamed Salah has on this team, and without him, I think we need to bring in a goal scorer in January. We wanted to obviously to bring one in the summer, didn't get one, and I think we have to in January if we have intentions of winning the league, because look how important Salah's been to us for us so far this season. We can't afford a month without him, without bringing in someone who's going to provide the goals while he's absent.
Yeah, I suppose my question there is, again, James, is Divock Origi's future linked to us bringing in a forward? Is that going to be the scenario here? We have to move Divock on?
No, don't have to do that. Don't have to, because what are you bringing in another striker to do? To score goals when they're called on? If we
I should probably rephrase that. I mean, from a financial standpoint, you're going to have the readies to go out there and get someone.
I'm not too sure. I honestly don't know. I think we do need to sign both a forward and a midfielder. Both of them aren't coming in January. And I'm just not too confident. I don't think Origi will leave either. I think Klopp will have the squad that he has now for the remainder of the season. I don't think anyone will go. Maybe a few youngsters out on loan. Otherwise, I don't think anyone too significant will leave or come into the club.
You know what worries me most about January, gents? And it's not about a player coming in. It's about a player heading off to the AFCON with an unsigned contract and the ability for other agents, managers, players of countries getting in his goddamn ear and destabilise them. And that is, of course, Mohamed Salah. I can't envision him going to the AFCON, not having signed a new deal, and there not start to be little, even misconstrued or taken out of context statements coming out to try and destabilise him. It's going to happen. So surely the main focus of the club now has to be to get that deal done before he heads off to the AFCON.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know whether you're asking James or me.
Yeah. I thought I'd because I went last time, Jack, so I thought I'd give you this one because I've got something to say, but I'll say it after.
Yeah, for me, Craig, we all know how it works. When it gets to January and a player's not got a contract for the summer, the club, the fans, everyone's a player of the importance of Mohamed Salah. It's November and I'm shitting myself. I can't believe the club haven't done it already. He sums up how shit I am with money, because I would put a blank piece of paper in front of Mo Salah and let him squiggle whatever lines on there he wants. I'll let him have.
Yeah, I think I'll have to elaborate on this one.
All kinds of stuff inside Anfield is what he wants. For me, build that man a statue, build that man a pyramid, give it an Egyptian twist, give him whatever he wants. He needs to get that contract in, and it needs to be sorted before he disappears for a month for the AFCON, because, this is a player that we're talking about, one of the best players in the world right now, if not the best player in the world right now. And the fact that we are still sweating over, a few £1,000,000 a few £1,000 a week is ridiculous, because there is no one in the world that can give us what he gives us. There genuinely is not. He is irreplaceable, and we've just got to get it done.
What do you reckon, James, is holding this up? Do you think it is wrangling over 20-25 grand a week, or is there something that the club are trying to do? Is this part of a master plan, dare I say it?
When you work with stupid people, you get stupid results, Craig. Stupid results. FSG are dumb, I don't know how many times I need to say this, but it's not as black and white as we need to sign Mo Salah. Yes, we need to sign Mo Salah in my eyes, your eyes, and Jack's eyes. Do you want me to tell you why? Because our eyes work, and this eye is fucked up mine. But I still know, with 1.5 eyes, that we need, and let me repeat, we need to re-sign Mo Salah as soon as possible. Please, dear Lord Jesus, thank you. And if it doesn't happen, then that is a monstrosity, my friends, because Jack's just said everything that he is. He's the best player in the world right now. The thing that I think is stopping it is just simply FSG want to pay him less money, and it's much less money. Which
on this comment though from Jamrock, he said, "Why do the club have to do things on the fans' timeline?" I don't think this specifically is. I think this is about protecting the value of an asset as well. I mean, I think it's about making Mohamed Salah happy, not letting it drag out and become a protracted thing that becomes a bigger issue. So I'm not saying that they have to bow to fans. I just think it doesn't make any sense to let it drag out in any way.
You heard what Salah said, sorry Jack, but you heard what Salah said a few weeks ago as well about De Bruyne at City. Got paid what he wanted as soon as, so why can't I?
And he's absolutely bang on. He's absolutely fucking bang on. And he's in the form of his life, and he's definitely saying, with the way he's playing at the moment, he's definitely saying, look at me, I deserve what I'm asking for, and if you're not going to fucking pay at me, I'll get it elsewhere. There will be so many clubs that snap their hands off to take this man on a free transfer. We can't let it happen. We are witnessing right now peak Mohamed Salah, one player who, if he remains at Liverpool, will go down as one of the best Premier League players of all time, and we cannot afford to let him go, because, as I said, he is so good, and we cannot replace him. So FSG, just get it done, please.
At what point, gents, though, do we start talking about the other two? What time do we start talking about Mane and Bobby? Because they're in the exact same situation with their contracts, and there's no talk about them.
And this season, they've both been amazing. You know what I'm saying? Especially Mane. I think Mane has took it to another level. I said it yesterday. I think he's back to his best. Just with, even after the Atletico performance, we scored against Brighton. He's scoring what? It's not like he's getting hat-tricks. He's spreading out his goals. He's getting them over loads of games, and that's why, Mo Salah, he's the main man because he's the best player right now, of course, in our side, but he's getting hat-tricks. He's still scoring in more games than Mane as well when you spread them out, but Mane is still getting a lot of fixtures where he's getting goal involvements, and, you've got to give both of them a new contract, in my opinion, because they only make our squad all the more of a better squad for it, and it'd be a travesty to see any one of them go, because they don't have to be the starting front three for the next 5 years. What can happen is Jota can be in there, and they work for the place. And if it gets to a point where, let's say, Firmino is on the bench every game, or God forbid, Mane, but God forbid for any of them, because I love them all, but if Mane was on the bench and then he wanted to leave, fair enough. But right now, while there's still an element of competition, and they all still are doing well, give them a chance and let them compete.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because we've got the likes of Kate Gordon, Musialowski, and probably a few that I don't even know about that Jack could probably be better placed to fill us in on coming through. And it's a difficult balancing act, isn't it, Jack? Because you've got obviously an academy system that Jurgen Klopp has a lot of faith in, a great set of coaches there, but us as fans, we want shiny new things, mate, don't we? A lot of the time when we want it quickly.
Yeah, that's the nature of supporting to be class. You can't just be an average player and think that you'll make it. You have to be outstanding.
Just too bubbly, Ed.
Because if not, a few months he hasn't been at the top of his game. Tsimikas is in at the top of his game, performing really well when he gets on the pitch. And now all of a sudden you've got fans on Twitter calling for Robbo's head and thinking that, Tsimikas should be our new first choice left back. Things change quickly when you're in a club like Liverpool Football Club. And it's really, really hard to find the right balance. And I think that's what puts Klopp above a lot of other managers. the fact that he is so good at balancing, he is so good with chop and changing, he is so good at giving time on the pitch for these youngsters. I'm really, I'm just, it's another opportunity for me to wax lyrical about Jurgen Klopp and the way our academy system is running, because it's just sensational and it's perfect.
And for you, James, I mean, where do you sit on this balancing act between bringing through and giving opportunities to academy players? Because let's be frank about this. When you're at a football club like Liverpool, we know how reactionary our fans are on social media. So let's say, for instance, Kate Gordon got a run out in the Champions League game against AC Milan at the San Siro and doesn't do well. We know, mate, that they're going to be dickheads on social media, that they're going to be going in on him straight away and can't see the bigger picture. So at what point do we have to almost accept that, if we want the academy system to prosper and players to get an opportunity, then we're going to have to give these guys a run out and accept maybe that performances might be up and down a bit?
I'd suggest bollocks. And the reason why I'd suggest bollocks is because, listen, I am the first one in line who is all for giving young players a chance. If they're good enough. If they are good enough, look at City, for example. Great squads, bench. The second team could fill out the top four, but they've still got young players within that. They've got Phil Foden, they've got that Palmer now coming through as well. I just think to myself,
many coming through. So
many coming through, and it's not stopping them. That it's not decreasing the level of their academy, and I'm not even saying go out and spend as much as City, but all this talk about but the youth won't get a chance. They will if they're good enough, which is the bare minimum of if our academy is so good, which I believe it is because I have watched a lot of games and I'm very impressed with a lot of players in that academy. Give them a chance, but again, if they've got to deserve it as well. If they're smashing it in training and the scoring goal, say if it's Kate Gordon, he's ripping everyone's goal, give him a chance. But again, you've got to deserve it though. You can't just be can't just get it handed on a silver platter just because you're from the youth academy. We're competing on all fronts: League Cup, FA Cup, Premier League, like the way City do. That's what we need to do as well. And I don't want to hear nothing about if we buy players, then it's going to affect that. No, it won't. We'll still get young players who go through.
And I suppose, sorry, James, for interrupting you. I suppose that's where you have an interesting subject of conversation, because there's so many young kids at City that I think would get a lot more game time in the first team with us. You've got Cole Palmer, as James mentioned there. You've got James McAtee, Liam Delap, who looks a real player, by the way. There's so many of them. I think there's that Edozie as well. They have a lot of young talent that I think would be a lot closer to our first team than City's. And I suppose that stakes a claim for, you constantly see people saying, how we need to strengthen our squad. Our squad depth isn't there as much, but maybe that gives a bit more hunger to these young lads in our academy. Maybe that makes these youngsters think, I'd rather go to Liverpool because I've got more chance of making it to the first team. Maybe that's how we managed to sign players like Harvey Elliott and players like that who go, you know what, if I go to Liverpool, there's more of a chance of me bridging that gap and going straight in there in the first team, getting game time. And if I don't make it at Liverpool, at least there's more eyes because I'm getting more first team football than I would at City. I'm getting more development than I would at City because I'm on the bench week in, week out. So yeah, for me, I think that's why, there's a balance, and I think that's why we get it right, because you can have your City, you can have your two squads that could make it into top four and constantly chopping and changing and bad morale in the camp because you get players like Raheem Sterling who we know can have a bad attitude, unhappy at the situation because he's not getting enough game time. Or you can have Klopp who, has a weaker squad but keeps everyone happy. Everyone knows their job in our squad. Everyone knows this.
So close. We were so close.
Situation, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
I would. I'd change it for more League Cups and more FA Cups. I am a very, very... I like shiny things, and they are shiny things that I would like to possess. Therefore, I would change it, and I will go ahead and buy backup players that are good enough to be able to compete for the squad, and those who are good enough in the academy, go ahead. and give them a chance as well.
Before we finish up, gents, I want to get a prediction of you both for the last game before we head off into the third goddamn international break in 3 months. Game against West Ham, obviously huge game. We can't afford to do anything but win this game, James. That's what I'm saying to you right now. It has to be 3 points.
Got to be 3 points. It's got to be a good performance. And with Fabinho and Thiago coming back, if we lose the game, if we play bad, or if we have a spell where we play bad, where we concede a goal or two, that's going to concern me for the longevity of this season. You can always build into the season. Even Klopp said at the start, we're not going to be perfect straight away. And lo and behold, it's our best undefeated streak in like 13 years. We're like 1 or 2 games away from breaking the records or whatever it may be. We've been amazing, and we're probably not even into second gear. But it still doesn't mean that the way Chelsea are playing, the fact City can kick into gear anytime like that, these are the games you need to get the points in. And even if you just look at recent history, how many points do we need to win this title race? That's the question that you should ask, because when we were competing with City, it was 99, and the season before, it was 90. Well, it was 99 that we would have needed again if we were to overtake them, because they got 98. I just think to myself, you've got to think about that. Every game is a must-win in the Premier League if you want to win that league title. If the Champions League's your priority, fair enough, but I think both are your priority, or they should be. So I just think that's the way, that's why this game is all the more important. With Fabinho back, Thiago, there's no excuse to not go ahead and win this game.
And I'll add to that, Jack, I suppose we've a pretty decent record going down to London to play West Ham. It seems to be a stadium that we get results on. So, I'm confident enough to think that we'll get the win this weekend. And I don't want to give my score prediction yet because I've got a preview to do. But aside from the 6-0, Jack, what scoreline we got to predict?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
So, aside from the 6-0, listen, I want to give West Ham credit, first of all. Top quality side, looking so good under David Moyes. Really, really effective. He's got his Everton mark too, hasn't he? He's got a Fellaini-type player in Souček. A really, really good striker in Antonio that we need to be careful for, because we know he's going to target Van Dijk and that knee. We just know that's what he's going to do. He's a nuisance. He's an absolute nuisance. But for me, if I'm being realistic for this, these are the sort of games that win you the title. And if that's our genuine aim this season, this is what we've got to go for. I'm going to shock a few. You said definitely not 6-0. I can't go with that this week. It doesn't sit right. I'm not feeling a 6-0. Instead, I'm going to go with a 4-2 win for the Reds. Still 6 goals, but
yeah, it does have the feeling, James, of a game that's going to have goals in it.
I reckon it's going to be 4-0. I do. I reckon with Fabinho and Thiago back, call me naive, and maybe I am. 4-0. Honestly, I really have a good feeling about this game.
I love it. You know what? I hope we do get the 3 points, gents, and go into the international break on the front foot, because this team deserves something this season.
100%, exactly. They deserve something, but it's also, if you look at our away form, that also gives us a boost in this game. It's, we do tend to score a lot of goals, mostly in the opening 20 minutes, half an hour. And if we just don't go down a gear like we usually do, then you never know. Like, we could see a really, really solid performance and convincing performance this weekend, because West Ham are very good. So if we beat them, best believe that's not just beating West Ham, you've beat a top 6 side.
And here, come here to me, Mr. Redmond. Over the international break, you better be keeping Mini Mo and Mini Sadio safe, dude.
Right, so Mini Veg is here, because we've got Mini Veg, for those who didn't know.
Nice.
Mini Salah. And Mini Mane will be over there, or on the, because I cleaned my room yesterday and I put him on one of the sides, so he'll be somewhere. But Mane is safe and sound. I'll confirm that with you on the next stream.
Love it. Look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Jack. Thank you to James. Thank you to our sponsors, obviously manscaped.com. You can get 20% off and free shipping.
Go and shave your balls.
It's typical. It's absolutely typical. I'm fine now. The whole fucking stream, I'm all over the shop. We're finishing, and it's absolutely fine. I feel like I'm on Trapped. You know that kids' TV show? I feel like I'm on there. I'm getting fucking saboteur left, right, and centre.
Do you know in Step Brothers where the kids make what's his name, Darnell lick the shit? That's you, lad, with your Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi has just made you lick shit for an hour, and then now you're back up.
There's somebody downstairs in your house that's pulling a wire out just this hour, just sitting there, just pulling the wire out, just to wake you up. Look, ladies and gents, it's been loads of fun. As I said, massive shout out to our sponsors, manscaped.com. There's loads of great offers on there at the minute. You can get 20% off and free shipping with our discount code WFM20. I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to be recording something. Saturday, I'll be back with a live show. Thank you to James. Thank you to Jack. Thank you to you guys as well. We will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.